Hi everybody, it's me again. I wanted to go through on chapter 7 some of the exercises the book goes through and some problems where we look at incremental revenue and do an analysis of different options with using incremental revenue and incremental cost and incremental profit analysis. And it talks about, let's see, this is on page 259, Jensen's Rapid Copy. They're open 14 hours a day and they make $3.6 million, and they've got a cost of $3,248,440, so they make a profit, as you can see, of $351,560. Well, they want to see what happens to our revenues and costs if we stay open another 4 hours. So we stay open 18 hours a day. Well, through that analysis, the incremental revenue goes up $288,000, and the incremental costs, the variable costs of labor and toner especially, it goes up a total of $232,981. So you can see it makes sense for them to stay open that much longer because the incremental revenue exceeds the incremental costs, producing an incremental profit of $55,019. Now, having done that, this is 18 hours now. This is the same as what they calculated in the preceding page. They want to say, what happens if we stay open 24 hours a day? Well, and compare that with staying open 18 hours a day. Well, you can see the incremental revenue is $36,000, but the incremental cost is $69,717. So the difference is that they won't make as much as they would say if they stayed open just 18 hours a day by $33,717. Now let's go to another problem. This one is Bridge Computer. They've produced, I think it said 5,000 computers, or let me just maybe make sure I'm saying the right thing. That one's they've produced 5,000 partially completed computers. They've spent $4 million in the cost, and but the price, because they're going to drop the product, has dropped down to $500 per unit. Well, they've spent $800. Now all they can get is $500 here, so they're going to lose $300. But the problem is, can you sell a partially completed unit? And you can't. So they're going to have to spend another $400 to get it in to be computer ready. And they're going to, as you can see, they're going to lose $200 per unit. You look at alternative one, they can't sell that because the unit's not complete. But they can sell it for $1,000 if they spend another $400. So what should they do? If they spend another $400, they'll be able to have an incremental revenue of $500 per unit. And these production costs that they've already incurred, these $800, are sunk costs, and so they really don't include them in the analysis to decide what to do about it, because we've already sunk those costs. How do we go forward to make the best deal? And so if you complete it, spend the $400, excuse me, the incremental revenue, and the incremental cost is $500, the incremental cost is $400, and so we'd make $100. So going forward, excluding those sunk costs in our analysis says to complete them and sell them that way. Now, I want to go through here. This is general refrigeration. This is problem number 7.5, 7-5, I mean. And they manufacture they manufacture compressors, 50,000 of them. And these are the direct material, $15 million. And here's the fixed cost of $2,250,000. So the total cost is $17,250 to manufacture 50,000 compressors. Now somebody comes along, a competitor, and says, "Hey, I'll build 50,000 compressors for you, and I'll charge you $15,500,000." So now they need to know, well, does it make sense for us to build these things ourselves, or shall we purchase these compressors. So these are fixed cost. The 600,000 depreciation and 800 of depreciation, the salaries of the supervisors, another cost. That $1,860,000. We're going to continue to expand. This supervisor salary goes from 500,000 to 110,000 because they lay off some supervisors, but they have to keep one of them because I think it says there's some kind of an labor policy, so they still got to incur $110,000, but they save $390,000. So, in considering whether to buy these from an outside competitor or not, we save these costs. We'll save for $15 million, and we'll save $390,000. So these costs are saved, but we have to pay $15,500,000, and in so doing, it's more expensive by $110,000 to buy them. So that the $17,360,000 would be the cost to purchase the computers outside. We currently spend $17,250,000, so we'll have to spend $110,000 more. And the book goes through an incremental analysis here. Here's the cost of buying the computers is $15,500,000. The variable costs that we'll save is $15 million, which you can see up there, plus that supervisor salary. So we don't save the total $15,500,000. The extra cost of buying the compressor is $110,000. Now let's do another one. So let's do another one here. It's called Home Garden, Mercer Hardware. Now you have different lines here: tools, hardware supplies, garden supplies, total. In this, so they have a total of $400,000 in sales and $65,500 in net income. Excuse me. But as you look at it, they lose $500 on garden supplies. They want to make a decision. We're losing on garden supplies. Should we drop it? And they go through an analysis of it. But the one thing you can see here is these fixed costs, they've allocated, I don't like to say arbitrarily, but by some ways, excuse me, they have made a decision to allocate $24,000 for tools, $40,000 for suppliers or hardware supplies, $16,000 for garden supplies. So they have a total of $80,000 fixed cost, and they've allocated $16,000 of that $80,000 to garden supplies. So if they drop garden supplies, they will still have to incur the $800,000. They will have to spread that over the two remaining places. So if they do that, and let's just see what it would be if they eliminated garden supplies. But you can see that doesn't make sense. So that if they drop it, they're still going to incur 50. Well, let's just go through this. So if they drop it, they still have the tools and supplies, and here's the revenues and the costs that will come in from it. But the one thing you need to see is this fixed cost of $80,000. Dropping that garden supply does not make one dent in reducing that $80,000. They still have it, and so instead of allocating it over 3 units or 3 units, they have to allocate it over 2. So the profit goes from $65,500 down to $50,000. And the reason it does is because they lose $80,000 in sales, but the cost of goods sold only goes down $60,000. Variable cost $1,000, $3,500 here. So the cost savings is $64,500, and so the net loss from dropping it is $15,500. Have to be real careful when you think about dropping something because of when those fixed costs get allocated. That's the same thing. Okay, let's go. This is problem 7-2. And let's just take a quick look at it. We're going to do an incremental analysis here. It's called the Oakland College, and they maintain their grounds. They have 3 gardeners, plants and materials and so forth. They take care of the garden surroundings of this college. So again, we have they got a bid from Highland Grounds Maintenance to take care of the grounds, and they'll pay $300,000. And you say, okay, they're incurring $309,000, so they have to do an analysis to see if that makes sense. So if they do that in year 1, they're going to save this $297,000, and they're going to eliminate that because they've got this depreciation that will go away. And one of the things they can do is sell that tractor, and it's for $30,000. So basically, they will save $327,000. And if the bid is $300,000, so the potential savings is $27,000. But that's year 1. The problem is they make it in year 1 of a profit, a potential, not a profit, but a reduced cost, because they can sell that equipment. But then in year 2, you can't sell it again; it's already sold. So there, for year 2 and years thereafter, it's cost $3,000 a year more if they go outside than if they do it themselves. This is, I don't want to, we can go through this in class. So anyway, I'm sorry. I look forward to working with you in class.